Hey guys, it's Phantom here, and welcome back to a brand new video, everyone. So in today's video, we are going to be doing another video where I rate all of your guys' stitches that you guys post in the Stitches tab as part of my Discord. So pretty much going to be doing the same thing as last video. I'm going to be looking over a bunch of stitches that you guys have posted, and I'm just going to be rating them out of 10 just based on how good I think they look. So with that being said, we are going to go ahead and get started with rating the first stitch right here. So here we have Katie Sunsword Stitch. Oh my god, just this is quite the abomination that is right in front of me right here. So she's got like all of the Great Skytrain robbery pack gear here equipped, it looks like, with those licorice wands that you get from the caramel souvenirs pack. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not I'm not really feeling this one. I'm not really exactly sure why, because the Great Skytrain robbery gear, at least some of it, you know, most notably the robe, actually looks like okay, and you know, I don't really mind it as a piece of gear, but I guess just the fact that you've taken most of your gear just from a single pack and put it into one stitch doesn't really sit that right with me. I'm also not really a big fan of the licorice wands. Now, I don't actually mind them that much when they're just kind of like stagnant just right there when you're holding them, but then when you actually, you know, when it's actually time to use them in battle, unfortunately, I'm pretty sure they still turn into eel wands, which really sucks, and I'm gonna have to take points off for that as well. So I don't know, dude. I mean, I like the combination of the lasso and the, you know, Western gear that you got right here. So I'm going to give this, I think, a 4 out of 10. Guys, come on. Like, you guys can do better than this. Come on. I know you guys can do better than this. Like, this is all bizarre gear, you know, just combining with the Sword of Kings that you got from the Avalon. Like, it's just, oh, it's so bad, dude. It's so bad. I'm not a big fan of two-handed weapons. I'm just not really a very big fan of most of the gear that you've thrown together here. This obviously looks like Dragonspire gear, and then I think that's like a Marley Bone level 25 hat or something like that. I don't think like this whole aesthetic of gear, like the Dragonspire and the Marley Bone combined, like works at all. I don't think it works at all. The colors are like as well, and then like your just addition of the Sword of Kings just doesn't really make that much sense. I feel like in the grand scheme of your stitch, I'm not really a big fan of this one, unfortunately, my dude. I'm gonna have to give you like a 1.5 out of 10. I don't like this stitch at all. I'm sorry. Okay, I don't hate this. I don't hate what you've got working with here. One thing that I don't really like very much about it, however, is I feel like the stitch kind of like, it looks kind of cool, honestly, with like all of the purple and black as well as like the astral insignia. I think it goes well with your pet and your wand, but I think the stitch like really falls apart when it comes to the hat. I really don't think the graduation hat works at all for the kind of look you're going for, which I can't even really explain what kind of look you're going for because I have no idea, you know, what you had in mind when you were making this stitch. But I really thought it did go like okay. I really think all of this looks pretty good until you just get to that graduation hat that I've never really been a fan of how it has looked, you know, in the first place, just with like all of the graduation gear that I see a lot of people use in their stitches. But yeah, I'm not really the biggest fan of that. I think you could totally replace this with like a different hat. I'm not really sure. Like I probably wouldn't go like an elegant hat on this one, or like if there is an elegant star hat, I have no idea. I'd probably go with something definitely a little bit more unique, like kind of like the graduation cap. But like actually just using the graduation cap, I'm not sure if it, you know, fits really well, I feel like, with the rest of the theme of your stitch, if that makes sense. So definitely not the worst stitch I've ever seen. I'd probably give this like a 6 out of 10, but I feel like it could be way higher if you actually did manage to switch out that hat for something that just kind of went with your overall stitch like a little more nicely. I don't know, I've really got mixed feelings about this one. So like some of the gear that you've actually chosen, you know, for your stitch right here, I actually am like a really big fan of some of the pieces of gear. So like the Beast Moon robe, for example, that skull hat, I have no idea where it comes from, but I've seen it on a few people's stitches and I honestly don't mind it. Those boots look like they're from the Celestian Spellmental. Actually, no, wait, no. Those are the Beast Moon boots, I think. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure those are the Beast Moon boots and not the... There's Spellmental boots that kind of... Or there's a Celestian Spellmental boots that kind of look like that. But no, I think you're rocking the beast moon boots right there. So honestly, I feel like this stitch could work if you just swapped out like a few pieces of gear. So I don't think that hat, for example, goes very well with the robe and boots. Now the robe and boots go very well together, and if you had like a replacement hat added onto that, maybe replace the wand as well, because I don't really think that a lot of the legendary weapons don't really look very cool to me. So if you maybe switched out like a more, I don't know, a more futuristic kind of like tech sort of hat that you could, you know, maybe paste in place of that skull that you had, I think that the stitch could work very, very well. If you wanted to replace maybe the robe and the boots to better suit the hat, then I feel like that could work as well. But this stitch, like as it is right now, is just a really, really mixed bag for me. And I think I'm gonna give this like about a 3.5. I'm not gonna lie, I don't think it really works together like super well or anything. Yeah, I'd probably have to give this about a 4 out of 10. I'm pretty sure the guy who actually posted this stitch said it was like, yeah, here's like all my basic stitches and stuff, and this was the first one on his list. And you know, he's right. This is pretty basic, so I'm gonna have to bring down like a lot of points for that. I'd probably give this like about a 5 out of 10. I mean, I like the look of the elegant gear. I've always been a fan of how the duelist robe looks. Did it take a lot of thought to actually make this stitch? No, and you know, I have taken points off for that, like I've said, but I do like the glasses. I do like the face paint and how it does like match your gear pretty well. Also like how your pet matches you as well. I like your Dragon Claw blade. I think that's a pretty interesting use of that wand. So just for all those reasons, I think you definitely get some points, because this is far from the worst looking stitch I've ever seen, but like once again, it is super duper basic. So I'm gonna have to dock off, you know, a little bit of points for that. I'm sure you do understand, because you know yourself as a wizard recognizes that your stitches are very, very basic. But yeah, 5 out of 10 is going to be my final scoring for this one. And yeah, moving on to your storm stitch. This is a stitch that I've just seen like way too much. I'm not really sure why all the storms like run with like this sort of, you know, they're not like the false dawn harrowings. I don't even remember the name of like these purple harrowings, but they run the harrowings, and then they run this very same robe, this robe that, you know, kind of like encompasses both your upper and lower half, and, you know, along with these hats and boots. I just see this so often, you know, I see this way too often. So whereas this one like has, you know, little tidbits of originality like kind of sewn in there, this one is very, very much more like kind of on the basic side. And just the fact that I've seen this so much, probably going to put it at around a 3 out of 10. So sorry, Brian, but that's where this one's going to go. Moving on to your Death Wizard. I mean, this one, like, it's not bad or anything. I'd probably put this at like a 4.5 out of 10 or like a 5 out of 10, you know, much similar to your Balance Wizard. I really do like the one that you've got right here. I think that's a really, really interesting use of the Mushu sword. You know, your robe is obviously like the Death Elegant robe, so that's that. I mean, there's not really too much more to say about that. I see a lot of people these days actually rocking the prestigious boots, and I'm pretty sure I've rocked these myself, like on a few of my wizards. Not sure if any of them are actually rocking the boots right now as part of any of their current stitches, but I have seen a lot of people rock this. Your hat, I've seen definitely less people rock, but you know, it is insignia gear at the end of the day. So that just combined with your glasses and face paint makes for a very basic but very, very decent looking stitch. So there's my honest review of that. This I feel like is probably your worst stitch yet. I'm not really a fan of the kind of colors that you're rocking here. It just looks like a lot of black, you know, just a lot of black combined with the black prestigious boots, as well as the myth wardle that you got right here. You know, just like completely separate shades of blue. This guy doesn't even have any black on him. And then you've got the Umber Sword, which is something that I'm really, really confused about. You know, it's like you got all these colors coming at me, and I don't really know what to do. You know, you got this blue, you got this purple. You know, even this black is like a bit darker than that black. It's just like none of it really goes together that well, in my opinion. So all of the pieces of gear combined together, especially with that Umber Blade, I feel like that was like a really poor, you know, use of one right there. Also, the pet that doesn't really match at all, as I mentioned before, contributes to this stitch's rating of probably about 2 points. I really don't like this at all. I'm sorry, man. Dude, honestly, how many bundles did you put? Like, this is just, I've seen prestigious boots on on so many of your wizards so far, so I'm just gonna have to dock points from your fire just because this is like some real lack of originality that we're seeing right here, you know. And you've got the flu wand, and then you got your insignia gear with the glasses and the face paint. Once again, it seems like your wizards, you know, all follow a very common theme. which is totally fine. I mean, it's like do whatever you want, man. But personally, I'm really not digging your prestigious boots on all of your guys. I don't like none of this just doesn't go with this. You know what I mean? Like this and this, even combined with this and this, like no. Like no. There's no sort of matching that's going on. No sort of clever way of like mixing gear together and using it to get more of a unique stitch. You just slap some prestigious boots onto a guy with some insignia gear. I'm sorry, this one's really not working out for me at all. I would probably give this like about a 2.5. It's maybe like a little bit better than the myth stitch just because this isn't a number sword. But yeah, really, man, again with the prestige. I mean, God, I'll let you do whatever you want. Just, yeah, like I said, in the last section, not my personal cup of tea with those prestigious boots. And of course, you got elegant gear. You got at least have the elegant hat, and then just a bunch of insignia gear. Blue Raptor is a cool wand. I like that. Lord of Winterpet will probably give you bonus points for it too. This one's basically just like the Fire Stitch, except a different wand and a different pet, and it's a different school, and that's pretty much it. So what did I give the last one? Like a 2.5 or something? I would say like the colors on ice blend together like a little bit better, so maybe I'd give you like a 3 for this one, but that's probably as high as I would go, just because you're staying true to this basic theme, of just insignia gear and prestigious boots. So yeah, I don't know, dude. There's something about this one. Maybe it's like the red that you used. I'm not really sure, but I feel like a stitch like this would kind of work in theory, but I feel like when you actually just like kind of put it together, you really do recognize just some of the poor execution that went into the stitch. I mean, just for me, like I'm not a big fan of those bow wands whatsoever. I'm not a big fan of the guardian gear either, whether that's on boys or girls, because I'm pretty sure that is the robe that you're rocking right there. The hat, I don't actually know what that's from. It might be from the crown shop, or it could maybe be a Dragonspire hat that might be dropped by a mob or purchased in the bazaar. I have no idea. Those boots, I have no idea as well. I would probably guess maybe like Chrysalis, Avalon, maybe even Mirage, where those boots are from. I have no idea, honestly, but it does kind of blend together, a little bit, so I'll give you that. I do like kind of the the more gilded aspects of the stitch. I think that can go together, but basically just like all the gold on it, I think goes together really nicely. But then the reds, the reds are like kind of off, I suppose, because if you guys didn't know already, when you dye gear in Wizard101, not all of the colors are going to show up the same on the same pieces of gear. So as you can see, like it's a bit off, in some parts the red doesn't really quite match up together, and I'm just not really a big fan overall of how the like Guardian's gear. This hat is just, I don't like with the hair. I just can't with this one. I just can't. I just simply do not think it looks good. And that's that, man. That is that. I would probably give this, I would say, maybe like a 3.5 or something, because like it is original, but it was like executed poorly, as I mentioned. So that's going to be the grade for that one. All right, last but not least, we have Blaze Dawn stitch right here. So this is a very interesting stitch we have here. So we've got the prestigious hat, the Beast Moon robe, the Tartarus boots, and then the Decathlon wand. It's just such a strange combination of like gear from like so many different avenues within the game. You got your bundle hat, the robe that you get from Beast Moon, the one that you get from Decathlon, and then the boots from Tartarus, which is so random. It's so random when you put it all together. It's such a silly stitch, honestly. But I really do like the Decathlon ones. I know that like I don't even remember what they said, but like they made a statement KI somewhere that like only a couple people actually had like the fully upgraded Decathlon ones. Now I don't know if this is like fully upgraded or anything, but he's definitely upgraded a decent amount just because of those amazing particle effects. So honestly, I think when you upgrade the Decathlon wands, they can look really hot. No pun intended. I think that this wand looks absolutely amazing when paired with the right gear, of course. And I don't think he really did that here. The Tartarus boots, the prestigious hat, the Beast Moon robe, they just don't go together at all whatsoever. It's like you've got a bulky hat, right, kind of going with like a little bit less bulky of a robe with a cape, and then like right back to bulky boots. I don't know why, it just looks so strange to me. It looks like you were kind of going for more of like a warrior-esque type look, but you just didn't really do it, in my opinion. I don't know. I feel like you could maybe switch out these boots and then the stitch might work a little bit better, but it's like this, like I've mentioned like before, like in the last stitch with the reds and everything. Like you can obviously tell like this is a different red from that red and this red's a different red from that red. Like it's so obvious, you know, that it's not the same gear set. And I feel like the whole point with stitches is you kind of try to make it blend, you know, as well as you can and kind of make it look like it is all a part of the same gear set. This doesn't really do it for me. I just don't really like the look of all this gear together. Like if the Beastman robe was paired with, you know, some different hat and boots, if that hat was maybe paired with like something different as well, I think it could work. Tartarus gear just looks bad in my opinion, but I guess this whole combination together just really didn't do it for me. So I'm gonna have to give this like, I don't know, dude, like a 2 out of 10 or something. I'm really not liking this at all. That's pretty much going to be it for the video, everyone. I think this is a bit shorter than the last stitch vid just because I did like so many last time as part of the first video, but I feel like I'm going to be doing a lot more of these in the future just because you guys post a lot of stitches in my stitching tabs. So let me know if you guys want me to do something else like this and I will totally do it. But make sure to leave a like on the video if you guys haven't already and subscribe to the channel because that would just mean the absolute world to me. So thank you if you've done that. Hopefully I can have your support. But, you know, if not, that's okay too. Anyways, though, I'll see you on the next video or stream, whatever that may be. So take care and peace out, everyone.